It's August 31st, 2014, and we want to know, will a shortage of bat-themed thumb drives serve as the death knell of Gotham City?
Can Alice Tesla unplug herself long enough to remain plugged into this podcast?
All this and more is coming up next. It's episode 88, starting now.
This day, we rescue a world from mysticism and tyranny, and usher in a future brighter than anything we can imagine.
Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's
Distress Citizens Radio.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the DCR. I, of course, remain your host, Sean Lamont, comic book reader extraordinaire, bringing you the only podcast that has a guarantee. I stress this, a guarantee that it will never broadcast in 4D audio. The other ones don't make that promise. You might have to buy some fancy schmancy fourth ear sometime down the line. You don't know that, but you won't have to do it with us.
They're growing them on the backs of mice now, so
exactly.
you know.
Do you want a mouse sewn to the side of your
meese
head?
ear?
Do you want meese ears?
I want no meese ears.
But I, of course, am joined by the people that always are with me. Mr. Brian Glein, Punmaster Extraordinaire, Punmaster General? Punmeister General.
Punmaster General.
Okay.
Eminence of Comics.
Eminence of Comics.
3-time Grammy Award winner.
Oh, wow, that's a new one.
I was in Savage Garden, don't you remember that?
I thought you were in Chumbawamba. I remember you being tub thumping. I have to keep you out of the bathroom all the time.
I did some minor tub thumping, but I most of my work involved Chicka Cherry Colas.
Fair enough. But we're also joined by rainbows, lollipops, sunshine, no-dos, caffeine. What else are you on today?
Advil.
Oh, okay. So all of our
She's high on life, Sean.
She's high on life. Wow.
Allergy medicine.
Oh, that doesn't sound like life. That sounds like pain. All I know is pain.
Yes.
Of course, the lovely Miss Kelly. Hello, Kelly.
Hello.
Are you at least with us? Are you? I saw you flipping through comics there.
Yeah, like that creepy lamprey monster thing.
Yeah, Lamprey Hands. All about him. We're going to talk about him in a little bit, actually. But before we do, guys, what are we?
We're
Spoilers.
Yeah. See, she spoiled what you were going to say. That's how much of a spoiler cast we are. We are going to go over all the books that came out from DC Comics in their new 52 line, talk about plot beats, story lines, character developments. I almost said story developments, character lines, but...
Same difference.
Yes, you guys know what the
John
spiel.
Romita draws a little scratchy.
Wait, what?
I just spoiled the character lines.
Oh, you idiot. But as such, if you do not want your book spoiled, do not listen to this particular episode. We are skipping out on questions, comments, concerns, and corrections this week because it is late. We had a last minute, hey, when can we record this week? How about this day? Nope. How about this day? Nope. How about any day? Well, I have one window well after the sun has set that we can possibly do this. And that's when we're doing it. So bear with us. As such, we're just going to try to burn through this. So guys,
Thought we weren't going to attack anyone with bears.
no. Why are you, hold your horses
Nay.
because we're going to jump into this week's books. All right, I am leading us off here.
That was terrible, Brian.
It was
That was just terrible.
I am actually doing the lion's share of books because, as I said, scheduling weird.
One more book. You're doing like one more book than
No,
me.
I'm doing 8 and you're doing 6.
Okay.
So, Ned,
Does Secret Origins really count?
it does count because that's
Okay.
where we're starting. You start at the beginning, and what more is the beginning than Secret Origins number 5?
Okay.
It's the very best place to start.
Well, if you're a singer slash nanny, I guess.
Sorry, that's all I could think of is like, Sound of Music.
Fair enough. This one, the characters we're getting in Secret Origins number 5, Cyborg, Booyah! Never get enough booyahs. Red Hood and Mara, of course, the I guess not wife of Aquaman right now, the girlfriend. The
Yeah.
really serious relationship of Aquaman. So let's start off. Cyborg, nothing really has changed that much. He's still squabbling with his dad before Darkseid showed up in Justice League, about how he wants to be a sports star. He got a scholarship, and his dad's like, there's super people and cyborgs and aliens and all sorts of stuff. They're just gonna kick you out of your job pretty easily. No one's gonna care about what some kid can do in a sports.
A recap of the Justice League War argument.
Yes, pretty much. And it's basically then the initial boom tubes open that start off the whole New 52, really. And, he gets hit in the blast, eats away most of his flesh and his arm and his skin and half his face. And his dad goes, hey, I know how to fix this. I have this weird alien apocalypse metal stuff. I guess we'll just inject it into him and see what happens. And that's how he becomes
Can't
Cyborg.
get much worse.
It wasn't. He was going to die. So I guess you might as well try at that point. I can understand that.
You know, you get desperate.
Yeah, he was more than desperate. And even, Dr. What's his name? Tommy Morrow?
T.O. Morrow.
Well, no, he's not T.O. Morrow yet. He's just Terrence Morrow or something like that right now. Terrence Owen Morrow or something along those lines.
I don't actually know what the T and the O stand for.
I did, but I can't remember. They've said it multiple times now. But yeah, he's not a bad guy. He is a Star Labs employee.
Nothing bad is going at Star Labs.
So even he was yelling at him saying, this is really a bad idea, but what are you going to do? But it ends with the both of them still squabbling, but now they're squabbling over science. And it seems like their relationship is kind of repairing. So yay, Cyborg. Booyah. Red Hood, we all know this story. We've gone over it multiple times. He was the miscreant turned Robin, where Batman found him stealing stuff and said, you know what? You could be a good Robin, Mr. Thugly Kid. Thugly. And, he ends up joining. He goes all renegade. He's
the name that Tim Drake can use one day.
No, it's not. And he ends up getting killed by the Joker and then resurrected by Talia al Ghul because she wanted to give him back as a gift, put a bow on him, and be like, hello, my beloved. Here's your Robin that died again. He's a little crazy though, but let me temper that before I get you back to Batman. So she ended up dropping him off with the cast of warrior monks, the all cast. You remember those guys we talked about them before? And they were going to train him.
A star-studded cast of warrior monks.
They were going to train him to be like a great warrior for the world.
Liam Neeson, Michael Caine.
And he ended up just walking away from it because
James Earl Jones.
He preferred pistols and serrated knives and just went back to Gotham, stabbing up the place until finally he was subdued. And now he's kind of friends with Batman again. Like he's tolerable with Batman right now. He's not going to stab him with a serrated knife, but
yeah.
He'll at least listen to what he says and think about stabbing him with serrated knives instead of actually doing it. And the last one, the one I'm going to spend a little bit more time on, is Mara. Mara was princess of a little town called Zebel. Brian, what is Zebel in relationship to Atlantis?
The Shelbyville to Atlantis' Springfield?
That is correct. I was just curious if you remembered that. And she was sent out into the world, and her father says, hey, you have been tasked. You need to go out there and assassinate the king of Atlantis. At this point, they still think it's Orm. So they hand her a shell phone. I'm just going to call it that. It's a little message machine.
Man.
It's
about me.
It's a little shell that has a voicemail on it, and it tells her, hey, it's from your mom. She passed away, but she said as soon as you leave the bubble of Zebel, you're supposed to listen to this message. So it's a shell phone. That's what I'm calling it. And she goes out there to kill Orm, but when she gets there, she actually doesn't find King Orm. It's King Arthur. And Aquaman is doofy. To put it, I mean, he's just kind of like standing up on a shoal, just yelling at these whales like, no, Willie, you're going the wrong way. Just kind of directing them out. And she's just
jump dramatically over me as I raise my hand. Dramatically!
Get the water and just make it fall on me. You're doing it all wrong.
Don't make me replace you with a dolphin with a robot tail.
So it's him doing that, and she is just absolutely perplexed that this is the great horror that she was sent to assassinate. And he's actually kind of interested because this hottie just showed up, and he's like, hey, you want to go get some food? And they go up on shore and they're eating some dinner. And as they're doing so, he's talking about, so what brings you to this part of the world? And she's like, oh, I have some things to do. And she goes, oh, wait a minute. I was supposed to listen to my shell phone message. And she runs off to the shore to listen to the message. And as she does so, Aquaman apparently thinks he offended her somehow, and he's just like looking at her like, what the heck? And one of the patrons stealing the books, stealing almost all the books for this
Quite
week,
possibly the best scene in the New 52 this week.
looks over to Aquaman and goes, hey, don't worry, buddy. There's plenty of fish in the... And then Aquaman just cuts him off with a glare and goes, don't you say it. Great scene. Wonderful. As you even said, Brian, it seemed like a callback to the first issue of Aquaman.
The first couple issues of Aquaman where it's like, stop making fish puns.
You don't know Aquaman. This ain't your grandpappy's Aquaman.
Aquaman's so much cooler than you.
It was a great little cut-off scene. I liked it a lot, but he ends up going down to the shore to find Mara listening to the message that just says, hey, I know you have all these missions and stuff, but at the end, live your life. Enjoy it. Get out there, do what you want to do. And Aquaman walks up and goes, oh, you have something you need to do? And she goes, yeah, but maybe I'll do it tomorrow. And that's the Hallmark card that I really want. I love you so much that I'll put off my assassination attempt of you till tomorrow. The feels. It was a cute, as you called it, the little meet cute between the two. And it works. It really sold the two as a fun couple. And that's been something that has not lacked whatsoever, even in the New 52. I don't know how it was in the old stuff. I haven't really run across Aquaman too much in the pre-52 stuff I've read so far, so...
Mara was not really a thing for a very long time.
Really?
Yeah.
I know she headlines Brightest Day, I want to say. I know she's on the cover of all those books, at least.
Yeah, she shows up
which
in
was pretty close to the end.
She showed up pretty close to the end after, like, the 8th or 9th reboot that happened to Aquaman while I was reading him.
Gotcha.
So,
well, at least he has both hands.
yes.
Haircut, too, so that never hurts.
Yeah.
No scraggle beards.
Nope.
Which I know we're kind of sad about.
Yeah.
His Brave and the Bold beard.
Well, that was a scraggle beard. That was a well-manicured beard.
Oh, well, apologies.
Yes.
He's the beard variant. So, anyway, I'm going to stick with Aquaman, though, just to try to thin out some of the books I have, because I also have Aquaman number 34, which is basically the Chimera versus Aquaman beatdown. These two are basically just beating the crap out of each other all issue. Aquaman learns he can't win at sea, tries to sick some sharks on Chimera, because I guess he forgot that Chimera is better at controlling sea life, and all of the sharks turn around and start gnawing on his legs, and he goes, well, this is a horrible idea, so to land! Maybe I can do better there, and he picks up Chimera and jumps out of the water into the city, and we basically get a Man of Steel-like city beatdown of destruction, where they're just destroying cars and trucks. They end up overturning this oil tanker in the middle of the street and crashing through buildings, and it's like, oh my goodness, we're destroying everything. But then...
Oh, Aquaman actually notices that everything's being destroyed?
He does, and he's trying to help the people even, so...
Okay, good.
You can't really complain too much about it. Unfortunately, though, while he's trying to help other people, Chimera disappears because he has that weird ability to camouflage himself, one of the various animals that were taped to his body during his medical thing. And at that point, Lamprey hands McGillicuddy, and that is not Red Robin, by the way,
No.
comes up from behind him and absorbs the back of his skull with his lamprey hands, just like right onto the back of Aquaman's head, like he's about to suck out his brains with the lamprey hands. Yum. Yum. The two of them end up communing.
I thought we were talking about Red Robin.
No Red Robin. The two of them end up able to see each other into each other's minds, and they have a lot of commonalities between them and a lot of weird intersections between their lives because, of course, Chimera is half human, the guy that was being attacked by sharks that Aquaman saved, and half the giant raging beast of doom that Aquaman accidentally killed, not knowing that it was actually one of Atlantis' guardians. So as they're going through it, it's basically, hey, we're both a mix of land and sea. Isn't that kind of funky? That's kind of weird. Well, I kind of see you as my savior because you saved me from those sharks, but you also killed my giant monster half of me, and you, as the king of Atlantis, are also the master of that giant monster half of me, so I really don't know how I'm supposed to deal with you. I just need to kill you so I can get you out of my way because, really messing up the brain matter here. Aquaman doesn't really like that plan whatsoever, so he's like, huzzah! And he does a little judo flip of Chimera and flings him off into the overturned oil tanker and throws a street lamp after him that sparks it and bloom. It explodes. Surely we will never see Chimera ever again because the tattered rags of his skin are all that is left behind. right? Never gonna see him again.
No.
But off to the side, some ambulance is helping some creepy-looking naked guy with giant fish eyes into the back of an ambulance. So I'm sure that has nothing to do with Chimera.
No, it doesn't sound like it.
It was actually great because Chimera was even making fun of him about how bad of a king he was. I was like, aha! See, I'm not the only one that notices this. He was looking into his memory. He's like, man, you're really bad at this king thing. I enjoyed it still. Ever. It was a much more action-y issue in comparison to what Parker has been doing to date. So, I mean, in comparison to Aquaman goes to his high school reunion, it wasn't as punchy as this, and this was just straight up punchy.
Yeah.
It felt a little bit rushed. But as I said, that's part of the whole, let's get everything done before we head into event month, so I understand why it was done that way. So I will leave it at that. I'm done with my Aqua talk.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to Batman Superman 13. Greg Pak and Jay Lee? Jai Lee. I wish someone would finally correct me as to how to say that.
I'm sure it's Jai Lee.
Jai Lee? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why no one's correcting me, because that's what I usually say. All right. So, Lord Satanus, big gigantic demon guy that Superman has fought in the past, has finally shown up, and he is meeting with KO the Trickster, Darkseid's daughter. And she convinces him to mess with Batman and Superman as she drops them on Earth with their minds wiped in Gotham City.
So, before you go any further, I actually read this issue, and on the cover, it's Catwoman and Lois Lane. I was like, oh, cool, we're going to have a little side adventure of Earth 2 Catwoman and Lois Lane, so it'll probably be some street level, oh, look at the misadventures we've gotten into, and the first page, it's like, Lord Satan! Okay, Satan's here. Interesting turn of events.
Yes. We get hijinks. This is an issue of hijinks. This is nothing but hijinks.
It is.
As Batman and Superman, they don't know who they are. So Superman, I guess he can't activate his suit or anything. And so he has some japes with Catwoman while he's naked and fighting giant robots.
Robots.
Yep. And him and Catwoman wind up in some very compromising positions at several points.
Quite.
And
especially since he just has a tattered piece of cloth covering up his super bits.
Yes. I think that was his cape. Didn't he tie his cape around his waist or something? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Batman, he comes across the Scarecrow, and he's like, okay, I'm a guy, I'm dressed as a bat for some reason. This guy's shooting at me. Let's see, if I punch him in the face, if I take his gun, I can shoot at him, and Batman's using a gun. And I was like, what's going on here?
I do love Scarecrow. Is like, dude, we've done this so long, you're not gonna shoot me. And he's just like, pow, 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 pow. And Scarecrow's like, what the hell?
Batman, he accidentally activates his Batmobile, winds up back at his mansion.
How do you accidentally?
Well, because he has buttons all over the place.
Yeah, he's like, what's this do? Boop, and then the Batmobile shows up. It's like, where should I take you? And he goes, home. And so Shroom takes him home. And he's like, oh, I'm a rich, sexy millionaire. Well, this is pretty awesome. I can deal with this. I can deal with being this guy. Not sure about the British butler, but I guess that kind of comes with the part and parcel. It comes with the mansion.
Yeah, package deal. Sorry, buddy.
So meanwhile, while all this is going on, Lois Lane is coming to Gotham to interview a guy named Mangubat, which is an odd name to have if you're a Batman villain.
Quite.
In Gotham City, but he's Mangubat, and he is the giant robot guy that is dealing with sent the giant robots after Catwoman.
Gotcha.
And so he attacks Lois Lane on the subway, the outside on a bridge subway that you see in all the Batman movies now.
The outside on a bridge subway.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
The L train?
Yes, the L train, sure.
Yes.
So he turns the subway into a gigantic robot, and he kidnaps Lois Lane.
Robots everywhere.
So many robots. Very crazy looking robots. And so Superman has to go and save her, and she's like, oh, thank goodness, Superman. And he's like, who's Superman? Who's Superman? I'm just helping you. I'm a big naked guy helping save you from these giant robots. And Catwoman's just in the back laughing her head off at the fact that she's going to try to steal Lois Lane's boyfriend.
Is she? Because she's married to Batman.
This is
on Earth 2.
Is this Earth 2?
Yeah, this is Earth 2.
Okay.
This is all taking place on Earth 2.
Okay, man.
How did I miss
that? I thought this was our Batman and Superman after they got yanked out of Earth 2 and plopped back on our Earth.
Maybe. I don't know. It just seemed like it felt Earth 2-y to me.
Because Catwoman was getting pretty flirty. I'm pretty sure this is not
Yeah, maybe.
This is not-
Maybe you're right. Okay.
Selena Wayne Catwoman.
Yes, disregard. Disregard.
Ignore him, or correct us later when we find out we're wrong.
Maybe
But
it's
yeah.
just because Jai Lee has done all of the crossover stuff with
Yeah.
the Earth 2.
This is the return to form. This is the kind of fun I was enjoying in the first few issues
Gotcha.
with him. So
Yeah. So, okay. Disregard. That changes the color of the entire book for
Yes.
me then. That makes a lot more sense. I was like, that's kind of weird that she's being so flirty with him, but I guess Catwoman,
because Catwoman.
feminine wiles and
Yep.
all that. When it comes to Catwoman, my judgment is skewed.
Yeah, never quite sure where to take Catwoman for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, thumbs up for this one.
Good. I'm glad you liked
liked
it.
it.
Good. I know it had a little bit of a middle skip there that you were kind of like, I don't know which
Yeah.
way this is going. So, Superman 34. I'm just going to leave it with the super stuff and his super bits.
Mm-hmm.
Ulysses.
I can't pronounce it as anything other than Ulysses now. Thank you very much.
Or, as we know him, Neil. Since that's what his parents named him actually before he was sent
yeah.
off to the fourth dimension and became Ulysses. He was just Neil. What's up, Neil? How's it
Neil.
going? He is
Neil before.
No,
Neil.
not that Neil. He's at his parents' house, who are kind of begging for forgiveness because, hey, we shut you off to the fourth dimension when we thought the world was going to end, but then I guess no one turned the off switch off, and we tried that and it worked, so we saved the world, and then you were already stuck over in the fourth dimension. Can you ever find in your heart to forgive us, Neil? And he's turning around with like tears running down his face, and he's laughing. He's like, forgive you. I'm elated that you're alive. My planet, my parents, everything's still here. How could I be angry about this whatsoever? This Ulysses guy seems so upbeat. He is so happy about everything all the time, and it's so disconcerting. It's like, this is going to make the fall all the more bitter, isn't it? So, he is taken in.
So he has like my optimism.
Yeah, pretty much. He just thinks it's all going to work out fine. Even his dad's like, the world's changed since you've been gone, son. It's going to be really hard for you to integrate in, and there's all these horrible things happening. I don't know what the world's going to do tomorrow. And he's just like, don't worry about it. We'll just fix it tomorrow for you. It'll be a-okay, Pops. And just
So he's
brimming
all
with
about
optimism.
he's all about the sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops like me.
He is. He's all about all of those. So he tells his little backstory about how he ended up in the fourth dimension. He was taken in by the residents there, trained in his newfound abilities that he got from crossing over to a different dimension. I guess the actual transit itself is what gave him his powers, not growing up in the fourth dimension. And while he was there, he was protecting the great planet, which is what they were calling where they lived, from a guy by the name of Cleric with a K. Cleric with a K! Much like the other people that started with a K. I can't remember their names now from Stormwatch. The
Collective
with a K. Yes. It's all the more
I thought
evil
it was
with a K.
Oh, it's not clan with a K. It's clan with two N's.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That you start
You
going
do-
bad places with
Yeah, you
clans
don't want
with
to.
a K.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that was the guy that showed up in the first issue of Jeff Johns and Ramita's, the guy that stepped out of the dimension. He was punched him in the face because Ulysses had thwarted his plan so many times that he was going to go destroy his home world, and that's how he followed him here, blah, blah, blah. That's how he ended up back home. His parents are kind of a little worried that he's stuck here now, and he has no training with what the actual world is like, and they ask Superman to take him in and train him. He's like, yeah, of course, that's not a problem whatsoever. So, Ulysses, you chill here with your parents. I'm going to go home, get some shut-eye. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll figure out what we're doing. He goes home, he goes to sleep, and he wakes up in the middle of the night to creepy Ulysses sitting at the foot of his bed like, hey, Superman, I couldn't sleep. I don't have to sleep. So I was tracking where those robots were coming from in the last issue, and I think I found it. You want to go beat them up? And Superman's just like, yeah, why not? But
I just want to sleep.
Can you not sit at the foot of my bed, though? Can you just call or something?
I know there's a very popular movie that made it seem like this is a perfectly normal thing. Maybe I shouldn't have given you that one first. Maybe I should have started you off with something else.
Anything else at this point, because I was just like, this is not what I want to open my eyes to, is you just really close to my face like, Superman.
just like a child, because that's what children do too.
Kind of. He's that optimistic. Maybe that's what it is. He is so childlike he doesn't even understand. Mm-hmm. I guess that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I have many a time woken up to somebody inches away from my face just smiling creepily at me.
Like, Super Kelly. So they head out. They head off to the junkyard, and they're running around there trying to find stuff. Superman tries to open up this door with his heat vision, but it keeps like being pulled towards Ulysses like some sort of gravity, and he's like, that's one of my powers. I like absorb energy sources. They just are attracted to me. I'm like a magnet for them, so I'll just take 2 steps over here so you can do your thing. And he ends up opening it up, and they go strutting through this underground complex. Really,
man, he's pretty full of himself though, thinking he's that attractive.
He is that attractive. He can even pull in the heat vision. That's how hot he is. They go strutting through this little place that they have down there, and as they're walking through, this little golden screw with spider legs is like following after them, and then it leaps onto the face of Ulysses and bores into his temple, into his brain.
Ew.
Ouch. Ouch, yeah. Ouch, 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 ouch. That is not the only temple attack we get this week, and all of them were just making me go, nah. Of course, as soon as it does, this mind screw, it gets in there and it takes over his brain and it makes it start attacking Superman.
Chris Angel's mind screw.
Yes. Superman's like, I'm not a smart man, but I bet that mind screw has something to do with this, and destroys the mind screw. And then, as he does so, this guy with a metal arc welding mask, kind of a redone arc welding mask, this metal sheet with a kind of a Dr. Doomish mask, really, steps out.
And I love that weird, like, plate mail beard he has on.
Yeah, it's a very weird look. I mean, it's almost janky stupid, but kind of cool at the same time.
I think it really works.
But for a Superman villain, he just kind of looks like, hey, I'm a dude with a metal mask, and I got mind screws. So anyhow, Superman starts fighting him, and he has his robot wolves that are attacking, and this guy is calling himself the Machinist. He builds weapons, and he's basically using Superman as a beta test. He keeps sending his different robots after him, and as they get better and better, they last longer and longer and longer against him, and that's a big marketing tool for him to sell his robots off to criminal elements, governments, etc., etc. And Superman is very
easily
up with
businessman bat.
Yeah, that's right. Business machinist as well. Mm-hmm. Superman's handily taking these things down when he goes to attack the Machinist, who then throws out scores and scores of mind screws that start burrowing into the flesh of Superman, and he's kneeling up against the wall like, ouch, 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 this really hurts. And that's when Ulysses regains his senses, sees Superman under attack, and unleashes a laser blast from his eyes and kills the Machinist dead. Splat. And Superman's like, what did you do, Ulysses? And he's like, well, I did what I had to save you. I killed the guy.
These are some looks that kill.
You know it. That's how hot he is.
Sorry.
And they take off the mask and find, oh, it wasn't the Machinist. It was some random innocent guy who had a mind screw in his head that the Machinist was talking through a radio in the mask. And he's like, ha ha, sucker, you just killed an innocent man. Now you're going to jail. Weep wah. Oh, the fall is bitter.
Ulysses.
Dark turn for Space Jesus.
Yep.
Sorry, buddy.
Smidge.
Sorry, buddy. Really, really like the issue, though.
Yeah.
I kind of really see why Johns does so well at redoing stuff and kind of getting it going again, kind of re-fanning the flames of that particular book.
Yeah. Because
he really just kind of finds some core elements, finds an overarching theme, and then just really milks it to make a good story. So I really can't say anything bad about this issue whatsoever, other than Machinist, again, looks kind of janky for a Superman villain. But now that I know it wasn't him, and this is his little thing, yeah, it makes sense. It's all third rate, like, whatever. You're just some random scrub anyway. Go out there and...
Hope he keeps the mask, though.
Yeah.
I like the mask.
Yeah. So, we shall see. Moving on, Brian.
Moving on to Red Lanterns 34.
Moving on up
Ah, yes.
to the red side. We finally got a piece of the pie.
So,
They got a blood pool in the sky.
They do
Yes.
have a
There you
blood
go.
pool in the
deluxe
sky.
blood pool in the sky. So there's a big attack on Earth. A bunch of Red Lanterns showed up. Guy Gardner has a plan to finally end the war. Supergirl says, "Okay, I will take care of all the crap going on down here. You guys, you Bleez and Guy Gardner, go off and do what you got to do. Take care of Atrocitus."
So he's on a quest for peace? Is he going to wrangle up all the missiles on the planet and throw them
into the sun?
So Nuclear Man?
Yes. Nuclear Man and his mullet. Okay.
No, nuclear.
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 Nuclear? Never actually saw that one. I just read about it. So, we find out, off in space, Scalox meets up with Rancor. Scalox was actually working undercover the whole time. He's just really, really bad at it.
Oh, that's fine. It brought him back into the fold. Now it's like, I hated you. We booed him not but last month. That's how much he spurned our love. And now we can welcome him back into the fold.
Yep. And then Atrocitus immediately snaps his neck for his insolence. Goodbye, Scalox. Goodbye, friend. Sorry, you're also dead. Sigh.
We're really running out of Red Lanterns here.
We really are.
Yep.
So, Shadow Thief, who he brought over and was a complete rage monster,
Yeah.
that sets her off. She actually starts helping our Red Lantern.
Well, yeah. Do you
because
know how,
she loved it. Do you know how few goat-faced monsters there are from space?
so much fan fiction. She had written
Yes.
so much with him, and now all of those desires will be left unfulfilled.
Yeah. The judge actually does something and judges Guy Gardner as cool and everyone else as drool. So she just explodes and kills a whole bunch of the evil Red Lanterns.
That did have one of my favorite scenes, though, when everyone shows up and they're like, wait, who's on our side and who's not on our side?
Yes.
Is she on our side? I think. I don't know.
Yeah, so Guy's big plan is to give Atrocitus his ring back. And Atrocitus is like, haha, I won. And then the ring goes back to Guy because he has more rage in his heart than Atrocitus ever could.
Not just Atrocitus's ring.
Yes, and then all the rings come back to him.
Every Red Lantern.
ring.
That's how pissed off Guy Gardner
Yes,
is.
Guy Gardner goes full on Sons of Anarchy. Ghost Rider, Red Lantern, Rage Monster, chains all over the place. He uses the rings to bring back the blood pool on Easmalt. Takes out Dexstar and Atrocitus.
Oh, drop like punks. It
Dropped
wasn't
like
even-
punks indeed, but they're not dead.
No.
Which it confuses me, but I'm not going to complain about it whatsoever.
They're going to be locked up on Oa.
Yes, they are.
Not that will ever. I mean, Oa's practically invulnerable. Well, I guess it's not Oa, is it? It's
Mogo.
Mogo now.
Yeah, Mogo.
Yeah,
Practically
sorry,
impenetrable.
Practically impenetrable.
He gives
Just keep Jon Stewart away from the core.
Yes, exactly. He gives the Red Lantern Corps over to Bleez and Rancor, who are pretty much our only friends left. And heads back to Earth to help clean up. And it's just Guy Gardner. He has a red ring around his neck. So I guess him and the Red Lantern Corps are still going steady.
He's, I guess, friends with he's an ally of the Red Lanterns, but he's not a Red Lantern himself anymore.
But of
He
course, we all know
basically
how
goes,
good when
I retire. I'm going out on a high note now that I've lost every single one of my friends practically.
Mhm.
I'm leaving it up to you two, Bleez and Rancor, who are the Adam and Eve of rage now, it seems.
Yes.
They got a fresh new blood pool. You don't have to worry about Atrocitus or Dexstar anymore. It's just you two out there. Have fun. I think all of the other ones got their necks snapped, so
Yeah.
you should be fine.
Or punctured or
Or stabbed, or I did love how he got all of the Earth people back to Earth.
yes,
though.
he stuffed the gigantic bottomless pit Red Lantern monster. They just stuffed him in an overfilled sleeping sack. Just get in there.
I just love it because they're like, how are we going to get all these people back to Earth? And he just looks over at the unconscious body. He's like, And then the next panel, you just see all these arms and legs sticking out of its mouth.
Yep. Yep. A fantastic button on the end of Is this the end of Charles Soule's run, or is he still
I don't
going
think
after
so.
this?
Yeah, I think he's still going.
Okay,
I think
so
this is
an
just
end on
his
this first big arc.
So
The
this
big
is
Guy
this is-
Gardner Red Lantern arc.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it puts Guy Gardner in a great place. It's pulled him out from under a shadow. He is his own guy now. I know he's always been his own.
Well,
character.
he's always been his own
I
guy.
knew you were gonna say that.
Come on.
That's why I just completely hit the reverse on that one. It's like, nope, back up. He's gonna do something stupid. But he has been like he's just the angry Green Lantern.
Yeah.
That's his thing. Okay, well, yeah, that's awesome and all, but it's kind of nice to see him have his own little corner of the cosmos, so to speak, and now he has a much more bigger shoes to fill, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a much bigger player now, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
And he can just retire back to Earth and have Earth adventures now. Maybe him and Simon Baz can hang out. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I could deal with that. But we do only have, well, I guess that makes sense. We have 2 Red Lanterns for the sector, and then he's basically said, don't worry about Earth, that one's mine. You guys have the rest of the sector, though. So the Green Lanterns still don't get that sector back, though.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of sucks for him.
Yep.
Moving on, though, I'm gonna do some more Lantern stuff. Sinestro, number 5, which basically I can sum up with one conversation. It's a great issue, don't get me wrong. I'm kind of really abbreviating what happens in this issue, but it's basically plays out like this. Hal Jordan shows up because, of course, Soranik Natu, one of the other Green Lanterns, and Sinestro's daughter called him in. It was like, hey, Sinestro got back the Sinestro Corps, and he's going around wrangling up all of the people of Korrigar, all the survivors who don't like him. Maybe you could kind of step in. Aren't you guys buddies? Can you just have a conversation with him real quick? So Hal Jordan shows up to do so. He hasn't seen Sinestro since the whole Wrath of the First Lantern thing, when, of course, Sinestro murdered all of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So, hi. How's it going, Sinestro? How you been? And Sinestro's like, hey, Hal Jordan, I'm surprised to see you here. It's been a little while. He's like, yeah, it's been since you murdered all of the Guardians. So, what's this I hear about you getting the Sinestro Corps back together and kind of redoing the whole totalitarian rule of your people? What's left of them? He's like, Jordan, you don't understand. I got this, man. Just like you always say. I got this. I know exactly what I'm doing this time. And Jordan's like, okay, but where's Parallax? You had the fear entity inside you last time I saw. Now you don't. Did you just set it free? Were you like, go on out there, boy. Get on out there, Parallax.
If you love something, set it free.
And it'll come back? Mm-hmm. No, that's not how it works. And again, Sinestro's like, Jordan, chill, dude. I'm serious. I got this under control. Sinestro, that's what you always say. You're always telling me, oh, I got this. Don't worry about it. But your temper is too short. You don't have control. One of these Korrigarians is going to do something that ticks you off, and you're going to get all mad, and you're going to go on a murder spree again. It's what happens every time. We can't let that happen. Let me take the Korrigarians. And this just infuriates Sinestro that Hal Jordan won't listen to him whatsoever. And he goes, you know what? You want to see control? Do you want to see real control, Hal Jordan? Let me show it to you. And he snaps his fingers, and Parallax, the fear entity, comes out from the insignia on his chest, ravages the crap out of Hal Jordan, and is going to consume him. And Sinestro just goes, nope, stop, buddy. Come on back. And Parallax just kind of heals up to him, and he's like, and comes right back inside of Sinestro. He's like, that's control, buddy. I tamed it. It's mine now. That's how much control I have over my fear. I don't want to hear your crap. I have more control over fear than the man who has no fear. So back off. I'm doing my thing. Keep your Green Lanterns over there. I'll keep mine over here. I don't want to fight. And we're all going to live happily ever after. Sound good? See you later, bud. And he goes flying off. Hal Jordan, not looking too good. He just got ravaged by Parallax, and Soranik Natu comes over like, hey, do you need help or anything? He's like, nope, that was pretty embarrassing. I just got my ass handed to me. So you just stay with Sinestro, make sure he doesn't get anything big. Let me know if anything horrible happens, and we'll just play it by ear, I guess. But holy crap, this sucks. I can't believe he has the Parallax entity as a pet now. And as Sinestro is flying away, he just goes, time for things to change. And really, what's more scary than change? So, I got one over on Jordan. It was so well written. It was just a conversation between the two. The other Sinestro Corps members are just kind of standing there betting on the conversation because it's fascinating to them. They all know that Sinestro and Hal Jordan have this like love-hate relationship, like best friends, worst enemies type thing. And they're just standing there like, man, these two debate like, whoa. So yeah, it was good. Really, really good. Colin Bunn is writing it. I've talked about him before. I absolutely adore his Sixth Gun book that he does with Oni Press. And, he's been doing Magneto over at Marvel really, really well as well. So he seems to have found his niche as a anti-hero / just straight up villain writer.
Yeah.
So I quite enjoy it. It's really solid. He's actually the guy that's writing the Lobos. Or Lobros, I'm sorry.
Lobros?
Yeah,
oh, man.
Lobros. So I'm really actually kind of stoked for it now.
Huh.
He was not who I thought was writing it.
So I will not get Lobros thrown at me?
No, you already said I get Lobros because you took Gotham Academy and, Batgirl. Once all that stuff was announced. So you were like, Lobros to you. So anyway, Brian, I think you have one more for this.
Yeah, I'm closing it out with a trip to the far future.
The far future.
Of 5 years from now.
Every week now.
I know.
Just have to stop.
I know. With Future's End 17. We start off with Constantine and breakout characters Tommy and Midge.
Oh, yeah.
They are going through a village that the Death Dealer, which is what they've kind of, at least for the time being, dubbed the parasite robot that's going around killing everything.
Okay.
Death Dealer went through it, destroyed a village, and they're apparently this Death Dealer character and them are looking for the same person, whoever that may be. Cut over to Cadmus Island, we check in with Hawkwoman. She is dealing with Dr. Sook. Is he a guy who showed up in the Earth 2 book?
I don't believe so. I don't remember him.
They seem very familiar with each other. And so she's like, oh, you're checking up on these weird things that are growing inside of us. He's like, well, maybe. They probably
weird things that are growing inside
they probably, there's a thing inside of you. It is growing. It shouldn't be growing as fast as it is. It's probably super creepy that you can feel it growing inside of you, right? And she's like, well, yeah. It's like, well, okay, I know exactly what to do. We can fix this. When an OMAC comes up and squashes his head from behind. We cut over to 50 Sue, Grifter, Earth 2 Lana Lang, and Deathstroke, our favorite family.
The Atomic Family.
The Atomic Family. And they're just kind of standing there looking at the Earth 2 prisoners, you know, in their glass plate rooms, and like, look at that. Is that where Mr. Miracle is supposed to be? He's not there. World's greatest escape artist isn't in his cage. Probably should have seen that one coming. And then suddenly all of the doors just open up and all of the Earth 2 superheroes start coming out dead-eyed, kind of zombie-like, and just start wrecking stuff. And they're like, oh crap, this is not good at all. And meanwhile 50 Sue's just like, what are you talking about? This is awesome.
This is the best day ever. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad.
Yep.
I just love how they're just all yelling at Grifter like, just look for deception. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm looking. There's people in cells. What's deceiving me here?
Yes.
That one's empty, I guess. Is that the trick?
We check in with Emiko and Big Barda. They meet up with the enigmatic Mr. Diggle. The man that killed Green Arrow and the man that kidnapped Mr. Miracle are apparently the same person. So Emiko puts on a green hood, busts out her green bow, and to honor my brother's memory, we're going to have to go to an island and we're going to have to destroy him. Dun 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 dun. It was
so she's going to have to start off, you know, her episode or her issue with my name is Emiko and Emiko Queen and
honor my brother's death.
I'm going to do some stuff and it's going to be
do some stuff and people are going to show up and
it's going to be a really long intro that is exactly the same every single week.
And this is my buddy Big Barda.
Yeah. But it was that scene was just really well paced.
It was very well paced.
Speaking of well paced, Masked Superman. There's a big fight between Masked Superman and Rampage. He's lost the bottom half of his mask. Lois Lane keeps getting in the way, and he's like, oh my god, Lois Lane! Why are you keep running into this fight? She literally takes a piece of rebar and starts trying to hit Rampage with it. Like, what do you think you're gonna do?
Not even hitting, just kind of poking.
Yeah. Hey, stop it. Knock it off. And Lois finally gets knocked halfway across the city. He's like, oh, finally I can pull out my trump card. And he goes, Shazam!
He's Gomer Pyle.
Yes, he is. Underneath the mask, he's really Gomer Pyle. Good old lovable Gomer Pyle, USMC.
And I just lost about 70% of our listening audience.
Yep. Giant bolt of lightning comes down, strikes Rampage, takes him out, and there's a young, well, probably not as young as he usually is, but there's a young boy named Billy Batson who's left in the wreckage. And
He'd be about 19 right now.
He'd probably be about 19. He's still younger than the rest of the superheroes.
Yeah.
So Lois Lane's like, oh, that was unexpected. That was unexpected at all.
Don't tell anybody.
Yep. And I'm sure that there's probably been lightning flashing in the background whenever we've seen Masked Superman, and we've completely missed it the entire time.
Probably.
Just didn't have the time to go back and check on that kind of stuff. So we go check back in on Constantine, and they track a spot in the middle of the desert. Constantine just kind of sits down, crisscross applesauce, and like, all right, this is where we're supposed to be. And Tommy and Midge are just like, man, we're super dynamic, and we've got a lot of personality. Constantine, why are you doing this? It's really kind of confusing us and throwing us off. It's like, well, something's going to happen. Well, all of a sudden, these gigantic spouts of water start coming up closer and closer and closer, and then eventually right underneath where Constantine is sitting. And who should be there in the middle of the desert?
Gomer Pyle.
Straggly, swarthy, bearded. It's Superman. It looks like Zack Snyder has gotten a hold of him.
It's Hobo Superman.
It's Hobo Superman. Zack Snyder's gotten a hold of him. It's the darkest timeline, everybody. No!
Actually, I
Look
think
out!
You'll find just from, I mean, it's not really a spoiler because if you look in the background, you can even see it. Whatever tore up the land, he's replanting everything. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
So that's why he's just Farmer Hobo Superman now, and with his scraggle beard and everything.
Doing some atonement or something. Still no word on Tim Drake, who, as we all know, is living under the name Aloysius Birthwington.
Well, at least it's not, what was it? Lamprey Hands McGillicuddy.
Yes, exactly.
I was worried. I did read this one and I was like, crap, no Red Robin. That's what I have to be careful. I have to watch what I say. But yeah, it really kind of picked up this issue.
Yeah, big reveal. It's like, oh, hey, everyone, you want to be excited about the Future's End month? Here we go. This is obviously the stuff that we had to kind of get out of the way so we could do all the other issues for people.
Yeah, so, I enjoyed this one quite a bit. It actually pulled me back in on it. So, as I said, it's been a slow burn. I have no qualm with the slow burn. I'll read it.
Yeah.
Hitting around 20 with a slow burn, that's where you're starting to get a little dangerous. So, I'm glad
they... like 40 issues or so, maybe? Somewhere around there?
Yeah, so I think that was the end of Act 1, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the end of Act 1. I know we hit the end of Act 1 in Batman Eternal this week, too. So
okay.
That's the only reason I was trying to see if they lined up there. But yeah, I was happy to read it. Happy to see stuff happening. And hopefully next month we'll just really ramp it up and just hit the gas pedal and just make it go with no stop in sight. Because it's going to be going alongside World's End as well.
Yeah.
We're adding another weekly into the mix.
Oh, that starts next week?
That starts in October.
Oh, it starts in October.
So
okay.
Right after the Future's End month, we start getting that stuff as well.
Things will slowly start coming back together.
Yeah, in theory, we should have the main universe, the World's End, and the Future's End all starting to congeal into one big super thing going on. I assume.
So at
honestly,
the end,
I don't
they may
know,
all
but
just converge on one point.
Yes.
Huh.
So something big may be coming down the pipe. This may be a quasi-countdown. A quasi-countdown.
As long as it's not actual countdown.
I'm just saying quasi. Honestly, I doubt they'll use the word countdown again.
Yeah.
I noticed they used
for better.
The Road to and Prelude to a lot more than Countdown to.
Yep.
Just something I happened to notice when I was flipping through stuff. So, that'll wrap up the first half, though. We still have another 7 books to go.
Yeah,
so
we do have
Brian,
another 7 books. Man.
What you got, buddy?
I've got Catwoman 34. I've got All-Star Western 34.
Timeline. It could be over.
And The Flash 34.
And I have Batman Eternal number 21. Harley Quinn number 10 getting a new roller derby name. heard our cries.
Okay.
And decided to change the name. G.I. Zombie. I'm sorry. It's not G.I. Zombie. It's, what is it? Star-Spangled War Stories.
Got to protect that copyright.
G.I. Zombie number 2 is coming up in the second half, as well as Justice League Dark number 34. So give us a quick second. We're going to take a micro break here, and when we come back, we will go through those books. Into the Bat half of the show, starting off with the Eternal Tale of Batman, aka Batman Eternal number 21. What I like to call the mic drop issue, because I think they have all of the mics in the world and they're just like drop, 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 drop. It's basically all their little storylines coming to a head.
Red Hood ate too much spaghetti.
He did. It was horrible. And then they made him run up a mountain. It was like Band of Brothers. Anyhow, Lieutenant Bard has made the hookup with Vicky Vale.
Vicky Vale?
Yeah, with Vicky Vale.
Vicky Vale.
With her. He's at her apartment, and they're making out, and he's about to be named the acting commissioner of the Gotham Police Department, because it doesn't matter what happens to Gordon at this point. He's kind of sullied as far as his name. They need someone to act as commissioner because the last one was proven to be corrupt as well. So, God, we really need to fill this seat. Lieutenant Bard, you're here. I guess you'll do. So get in there. You're talking to people all the time. And it's like, yippee-doo, I'm going to become commissioner. I'm such a squeaky clean, awesome cop. Yeah, it's great. But as they're talking, the sentencing for Commissioner Gordon comes on TV. And, of course, he is found guilty. Sentenced to life. Yeah, and they're leading him back to his cell in Blackgate Prison, where Falcone has been given extradition because he has all those crimes. He was a crime lord back in China. He runs the empire there. So China goes, hey, we need him, and they're going to extradite him back. And he's like, yeah, I'm just going to get out. It's all my connections back in China anyway. So basically, I'm just going back to my crime empire. But you, Rex Calabrese, the lion, now I know you're still alive. I'm going to be coming back to Gotham because me and you, we're not done. We're not done at all. And as he's about to leave, Warden Zorbato shows up and goes, hey, someone needs to talk to you real quick before you go. Attaches that, I guess, hokey zipline thing from the Batman movie. And then the plane flies by and picks him up and flies him off. Where Batman proceeds to beat the living, loving crap out of Falcone. You lied to me. Why'd you tell me that you knew nothing about what was going on here? There's all this proof that some surgeon down in Brazil set this whole thing up and you knew too much. That's why you showed up right when it happened. What are you not telling me? What are you not telling me? And, he gets handed a business card. He's like, yeah, I got this card in the mail like a couple weeks ago. It said, come to Gotham City. We're going to trash the place in 2 weeks. Commissioner Gordon's going to be taken out of the picture. Let's all raffle stomp Gotham City. So
there's a really small font on there.
It was. So that's what I did. I showed up to raffle stomp Gotham City, but you know what that means? Someone's masterminding this whole thing, and it wasn't me. I'm out of here. Back to China. And off he goes. Now, later on, Lieutenant Bard is in the police station, and he's preparing to take over the office of acting commissioner. He's like setting up the desk and everything. Detective Bullock comes in and gives him the whole speech of, Gotham's a really crappy town, dude. I'm hoping you're up to this because it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck bad. You're probably gonna be in mortal danger every minute of your life from this point forward. But if we work together, I know your style's a little weird. I kind of dig it, but if we follow it, we can probably do it. Just make sure you forge your own path. Don't try to be Commissioner Gordon. It's too big of shoes to fill. And he's like, okay, cool, I'll do that. And Bullock leaves, and he turns around to see Batman there, who's like, he's right, you know, you can never be Commissioner Gordon. You have to be your own man. And that's why I'm giving you this one thumb drive that I have that contains all of the information that will clear Commissioner Gordon's name. It's the only thumb drive that has all of this information. I'm trusting it to you. Take it.
And he's going to lose it, isn't he?
Well, we'll get that.
Is it the BS USB?
No.
Just asking.
So while this conversation is going on, and I'm losing my voice from my really shitty Batman, while this conversation is going on back at Wayne Manor, Alfred is struggling not to tell his daughter Julia that he's not just a crumpet-serving butler. Because she's like, you used to be like so badass, you would kung fu chop people all the time, and I looked up to you all the time, and he's like, well, you know, I still use those skills around here when I'm chopping onions. But he just can't bring himself to do it. But as they're talking, the alarms go off. There's an intruder in Wayne Manor. Or there's more man-bats in the belfry. One of the two. We don't know what it is. So he goes, okay, daughter, boosh. Kung fu chop, knocks her unconscious, shoves her in a panic room, pulls out his guns, and just starts strutting through the hallways of Wayne Manor, shouting out to whoever's there, my master may not be a fan of guns, but I am not Bruce Wayne. My master is not Batman, though, so don't get any ideas. He just doesn't like guns, but I have no problem with them. And he's like shooting, pew, pew, pew. I know you're around here, pew, pew, pew. As he is walking along, a voice comes from behind him as someone grabs him and goes, oh, Alfred, you silly little monkey. I'm not after Bruce Wayne. I'm not after your daughter. I'm here for you. And he turns around to see... Who do you think it is, Brian?
No clue.
Hush.
Oh. No.
Bandage face,
no.
McBendy face
no.
is there. And he takes a giant syringe full of fear toxin and plunges it into the temple of Alfred Pennyworth and injects him all up with the fear toxin. He's like, oh, I'm leaving you behind as a gift from my bestie friend, Mr. Bruce Wayne / Batman.
Oh, why did your daughter have to show up, Alfred?
That's what I said, too. I said that as soon as she showed up, that never bodes well for the original character. As soon as a legacy character shows up, it's like, well, you're going into the infirmary for at least 6 months. Story tropes. I hate them.
Hush.
What's wrong with Hush?
What's
wrong with Hush?
He's Hush. Have you read any of his stories?
No, I haven't yet. I'm still working on it. So Julia comes out of the panic room to find Alfred just convulsing like crazy on the ground. And in his mad ravings is telling her about the grandfather clock and telling her the specific time that will open up the Batcave. But she's just like, I don't know, man. You're talking crazy. What are you talking about clocks and times for? Clearly you're under some sort of drug, so I will pay no heed to it until the story deems it necessary. So our little button on this whole thing, Brian, our little button, Lieutenant Bard has been given all of the information to free Commissioner Gordon, and he shows up at Blackgate Prison, and he talks to Warden Zorbatos, and he goes, hey, I got the papers for release. I'm here to pick up my prisoner, let him on out. And the warden's like, are you sure? This is really kind of weird and wonky. This isn't really how we do things usually. He's like, I know what I'm doing. Trust the paperwork. I'm the new acting commissioner. And they go walking through the halls, and they're walking up towards Commissioner Gordon's cell, and then they walk past Commissioner Gordon's cell. And everyone's like, what the heck? And they keep going until they reach another cell where he hands a bag full of some costume, and he goes, oh, it's you. The time has come. We have set the stage. What this city needs now is an architect. Brian, I know you don't know who that is, but that it was the main villain from Gates of Gotham. So I know you just borrowed that one from me.
I just borrowed that, yes.
So you will find out who that is in the very, very near future. Has many ties to the past of Gotham City. Very interesting character, actually.
Okay.
I kind of really like it. It was where I thought they were going to take All-Star Western, was that whole thing, because Gates of Gotham takes place just as much in the 1800s as it does in the present day.
Okay.
It's like the past of Gotham and coming up to the present, and how all the families intersect and interact. So this character has a role to play in that, and he's been just released. And Lieutenant Bard, our squeaky clean cop of the year, steps on outside and receives a phone call from Hush. And Hush is like, is it done? He's like, you bet your rear it's done. He's free. Commissioner Gordon's never going to be free because I have the one thumb drive with all of the information that will free him, and Snap! I just snapped it in half. Now Commissioner Gordon will never be free. So, Brian, as I told you before we even came back from break, either the people writing this particular issue don't understand the century we live in, or Batman just ran out of Bat-themed thumb drives, and he was like, I don't trust any other thumb drives ever since the Riddler got attacked my Bat computer by just leaving a thumb drive in the bathroom, and I just went, ooh, free thumb drive, and plugged it in. I only use my themed Bat ones. But, yeah, we'll see how it plays out from here. As I said, mic drops all over, and Hush is back. Hush is back, baby. Booyah!
I'm going to say you have a Bat-themed.
I do have a Bat-themed USB drive.
Do you really?
Yes.
You could have saved Gotham.
I could have saved Gotham, but no,
You stored some janky file.
Yep.
It does leave more mysteries, though. Because we don't know who Hush is. We don't know if it's Tommy Elliott. It could be Lincoln March. It could be Owlman from Earth 3.
It could be a character who is a million times more interesting than the previous Hush.
See? So you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know.
I can't say anything.
You're talking crazy talk. And
I just know friends don't let friends read Hush stories, so you be careful, my friend.
I'm going to just put it on the bookshelf, and you're just going to slap it off the shelf. Like, no,
bad.
Spritz bottle of water.
Yeah, spray a bottle of water. Now you can't read it.
Now I'm just curious and I have to read it.
Yeah, I know.
You've just built up my curiosity. If only there was some way for me to get a hold of it. So
yeah.
I am going to finish up one other book though. Harley Quinn number 10.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, before you go on, because you dumped so many books on me, I had to double down twice.
Yeah.
Twice. This one's pretty quick. Harley Quinn join Skate Club, not Harley Quinn join Hate Club.
Harley Squid?
No.
Gertrude the Squid.
Where there are no rules in Skate Club. No rules. They specify this for pages.
Except for don't talk about.
Nope, not a rule. There are no rules in Skate Club.
You got to get people to come to Skate Club. Talk about all you want.
So Harley has
you've got to go paper Gotham. Here's your 20 flyers. If you don't get 20 people to come, you're out.
Harley has decided since there's no rules, she's going to change her skating name to Harley Hack Me Up from Harley or Killer Quinn. It's a start. We're getting there. I know it's still a little bland, but at least
it's really bland.
Maybe it's going to change every month, like some other character's name that we know. And we'll start getting
unless she gets it down to weekly. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just saying. So, it's her first match, and she goes up against the Massapequa murderer, the pizza queen of Massapequa, as they call her.
Okay.
Who is this lumbering giant that just smacks the crap out of Harley Quinn until she's just off to the side seeing stars, which leads to our segue of a distant planet way off in the cosmos where these people are trying to take over a planet and someone's coming to stop them when they release this giant monster that just has one giant muscle arm and one tiny little T-Rex arm and uses this giant arm to punch away whatever is flying at them, and it goes tumbling off into the cosmos. And then we segue back to Skate Club.
Okay.
It was very weird. So Harley has lost her match. So she breaks the only rule of Skate Club, which there are no rules.
Yeah.
By taking toothpaste from Cy Borgman that was actually C4 in disguise and rubbing it on the belly of the Massapequa murderer and blowing her in half. I can understand that being against the rules somewhere. If you have one rule, I would assume C4 might be against the rules of a skate club. So I'm going to let that slide. That's A-okay in my book. If they wanted to write the rule at that moment to say, we had no rules, now we're saying no C4. They still going to let her compete, though. You can come back next week, but you lost your match. Too bad. So sad. So her and the rest of the skate girls go out skinny dipping in the ocean and have
as
their
you do
girly
after you
fun.
lose because of murder.
Yes. And they have their little girls' night out thing, and everyone has fun, and she heads on back home. And as she is heading back into her apartment building, something crashes down from the sky, and it's whatever that monster batted away, and she runs up to the edge of the crater that it has left behind, and it's Power Girl laying at the bottom of a crater. Now, I know Amanda Connor has a history with that character.
Yes.
So I guess she just said, screw it, I'm writing Harley Quinn. I don't care where Power Girl is. She's just going to show up in my book.
Yeah, so
now?
this is classic Power Girl, not the new Power Girl.
Yeah, this is old school Power Girl. So I guess she's just making a cameo, much like Huntress ran over to hang out with Batgirl for a couple issues. Maybe this is the final adventure of Power Girl who flew off into space for no reason, just for a little jaunt.
Well, she hung out with the Suicide Squad for no reason for a while.
That is true.
It fits her MO.
She just likes to pop up every now and again and be like, hey guys, remember me? So yeah, I guess next week or next month, 2 weeks from now maybe. I think it's bi-weekly now. We'll have the adventures of Harley Quinn and Power Girl, written by Amanda Conner, who from all I have heard, that run was actually kind of fun.
Amanda Conner's Power Girl was very fun, especially when she was drawing it.
So I guess maybe we'll see something along that lines in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Little callback. Well, I'm intrigued enough to see where it goes. As I said, it's goofy. I can't complain. It's its own little tone in the DCU, so we'll leave it at that. Own tone in the DCU. What do we want to do next?
DCU. Should we maybe take our last bizarre stream of conscious noir-style trip through Gotham City's digital underground?
Ooh!
We're going to do the Humpty Dance with Ann Nishenti and Pat O'Liff in Catwoman number 34.
Oh, yeah. Just let me introduce myself. My name is Humpty. You pronounce that with an umpty, by the way?
You do pronounce it with an umpty, but we are not going near any Burger King bathroom.
There's a free thumb drive in there. If you want.
Okay, Sean. We all know that Catwoman hates doomsday preppers.
Yes.
Gas-guzzling SUVs.
Yes.
Bitcoin-style cryptocurrency.
You know it.
And things that stink.
Of course.
But you know what she hates the most of all?
What's that?
She's coming for you. She hates massively multiplayer online gaming with unrealistic female body armor.
No! That's my thing.
I know.
So she hates me?
She hates you.
After all I've done to try to say how much I've enjoyed her book, she hates me?
She hates you. Sorry. Sorry, man.
I feel bad now.
Yep. So, Catwoman. She's just had her victory in... Sort of victory, kind of. It was actually a hobo in a dune buggy, but she just had her victory in the race of thieves, which was not really a race at all.
She's the world's second greatest thief.
Yes, behind that hobo with a dune buggy. So, to celebrate, she tries to get Alice Tesla out of her house and to go party and to unplug. Alice Tesla, why won't you unplug?
What?
Because she's a tech person.
She's always got these screens. She won't get her head out of her phone.
And she's got to finish her grinding.
She's got to finish her grinding, yes.
Yeah, because she's grinding for crafting mats. That she even tells her. You want me to tell the story for you?
Go right ahead.
Okay, well, She was grinding for crafting mats off of some elite mobs when she accidentally aggroed one quest mob that's of course Invuln. But luckily, there was a pug healer that showed up, and she was able to beat down the Invuln mob with his assistance. But then it turned out it was all a scam. And whoever the pug healer was stole all of her data.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Those were all words from the English language. I'm aware of that.
A pickup group.
Okay. I was imagining an adorable little dog.
No,
which I did not see
she
anywhere.
Teamed up with a little adorable dog. It's a pickup group, a pug.
Okay.
And they
I thought you were talking about dogs too.
They called it a DDer, and that's just wrong, even though it's technically right. It's DPS. Tisk.
So, Alice Tesla is willing to unplug for just a moment. Hey, you know what, Catwoman? You know what we should really do? I want you to set up a new base, and there's this really cool place we can go check it out. It's an abandoned murder museum.
Oh, well, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
You know what that would make? An excellent headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
A murder museum. A murder museum.
So the murder squad, is that...
And the murder machine.
Mm-hmm. But they go there, they check out some creepy wax sculptures of murderers. When it turns out it's really the home of Lord Siberius.
Who?
Alice Tesla's online boyfriend, who is nowhere near as good looking as his online avatar.
Oh.
Weep womp.
Isn't that the way of things, though?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the way of things?
He traps Catwoman and he forces Alice to play a game of battle bots with him.
Yeah,
as
pretty
they
much.
use 3D printers to make robots to fight each other.
So many
That'd be
robots this
awesome.
week.
Brian, can we get a 3D printer so that I could do that? That'd
Well-
be fun.
Well, so he uses his programming know-how to make these weird robo-hounds. And Alice Tesla, of course, Alice Tesla makes Clockwork Angels.
Of course.
That's our Alice Tesla.
Oh, you're so zany.
And Catwoman, she's just like, oh man, Alice, why can't you unplug? Stop playing these games and just unplug. Unplug, Alice Tesla. Oh my goodness, if only my friend Alice Tesla could unplug. If only.
So does she have like a Bluetooth plug in her? Like what kind of plug?
She just won't unplug.
Why won't you unplug, Alice Tesla? All your technology. Always with your face in a screen. Unplug. Unplug. It's as if the word
does
has
she
no
want her to
meaning
do?
anymore.
It's like if you say fork too many times, it just doesn't sound like a word anymore.
yeah.
Fork, 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 fork.
So Catwoman, while they're having their showdown in the BattleBots arena, Catwoman breaks out, saves Alice after she wins her own battle.
Bake a cake.
Okay.
It's Beyblade. They're battling in their little battle arena.
Okay.
But I always thought it was bake a cake.
Okay. So they break out of the murder museum.
The murder museum.
And they go off to the Alice Tesla cave that is marked by the Alice Tesla signal, which, of course, what is the Alice Tesla signal, Sean?
Gears.
Big old gears in the sky.
But why does she have it? And who turned it on? Because she was over there.
It turned on because someone's trying to steal her data, Sean.
But who's it supposed to warn? Because she never leaves the house.
Don't ask these kind of questions, Sean.
I'm just saying, if you have an internal alarm system and you never leave the house, why would your alarm system shoot a giant gear sign up into the sky above your house that you're inside and can't see?
Because, Sean. Because.
Well, maybe her building has like, an atrium type ceiling so that you can see the
It was
sky.
an observatory at one point. Then it stopped being the observatory.
Just for arbitrary.
Yeah.
Well, it did get blown up, remember, with the diamonds.
Oh, yeah, it did. The Black Diamonds did blow it up.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. So, see?
Yeah,
Logic.
you're right. Yeah.
Logic. That's what's kept this book grounded, is its fierce logic and
Yep.
its stick-to-itiveness
Yep.
to it.
Mhm. So they go back to the Alice Tesla cave. They beat up a robot hound that was trying to steal her data, and whoops! While she was doing that, she actually went there to steal Lord Siberius's data, and she also wiped all of his data, and she never should have left. She's going to stay there now. She's going to protect her data in her Alice Tesla cave, and she's never going to leave. And oh, Alice Tesla, you'll never unplug. Turn your head to the sides, put your hands on your hips. Alice Tesla.
That's
Always
Tesla.
plugged in. That's our Alice Tesla.
So she doesn't know how to encrypt files?
No, she's the best at encrypting files.
Well, then
She triple encrypted them so Lord Siberius couldn't take them. She actually took all of her data with her instead of leaving it there, and she just wiped his system while she was there, and also with the robot hound because it wasn't there, but it's now here because she brought it back.
Well, but why would she bring her?
Because it was all really a plan for her to go and steal his data because he was stealing her data before in the game.
But
what do
how
we
could
see
he?
at the end?
But how could he steal her data
trying to
if
get
it's?
there.
Okay, never mind.
Well, no, it'll make sense. It'll make sense.
Yes.
Okay.
So they're all happy, Oh, Alice
Freeze
Tesla,
frame.
back to freeze frame, happy. Pump our fists in the air. But dun dun dun, Lord Siberius still took some data and is making his own army of Clockwork Angel robot hounds. And he goes, until next time, girls. Unless, of course, Lord Siberius dies on the way to his home planet. Because I don't think we're going to be seeing Lord Siberius ever again. Ever.
I don't think we're going to see.
I have a feeling
Alice
he's going to show.
Tesla ever again.
I think he's going to show up. If I have my druthers, Alice Tesla will be showing up again.
If you have your druthers, we're already done right there because you have had druthers. So it
Thus
makes perfect
concludes,
sense, right, Kelly?
Thus concludes.
What?
Alice Tesla went there, deleted all of his data, and stole everything. So of course he has the data of everything she put on his computer, so he can make copies of her robot
Yeah.
or robot.
Yes.
So that makes
Well, and you figure,
sense.
and you figure he would have the data from her making her robot because she did put that file on his 3D printer.
Yeah, but then she deleted all the data. And
Well,
still,
but it would still be
after
there.
Catwoman unplugged everything.
But it would still be there.
Who took it literal? You need to unplug, so I'm just going to unplug these cables.
Yep.
here.
Yep.
We have someone else that took that similar path too.
Who?
So I don't feel bad. I don't want to just walk us away from Catwoman. But
No, please.
I'm kind of walking away from Catwoman right now.
Please do.
So.
If we learned anything from Catwoman,
I'm waiting.
I'm waiting too. Did we learn anything from Catwoman?
Okay, fair enough. People like that book. That book still sells really, really well in comparison to a lot of other ones that we really like. So
Because
Okay.
it's Catwoman, it's name recognition.
I don't know.
Didn't work for Halle Berry.
Why are you so salty? Why are you so bitter about this? You're sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops.
But I don't like Catwoman.
You love
So-
Catwoman. Everyone loves Catwoman.
No, not really.
It's our favorite.
And the thing is, it's not even just, this particular
Activate the gear signal. She's angry.
It's not particular this book. I'm not a big Catwoman fan in general.
What about Feline Lady?
No.
Okay. It was worth a shot. So let's move on. Star-Spangled War Stories featuring G.I. Zombie number 2. Continuing our foray into the weird, wacky, wild stuff that is G.I. Zombie. What would you call this book, Brian?
I have no freaking idea.
'Cause
I like it. I
was
like it a
trying to figure
lot.
out how I could sum it up as what genre it falls into. And I'm having a lot of issues figuring out what genre it falls into. 'Cause
HBO original series?
well, obviously that's kind of a catch-all though. I mean, that's
Yeah.
basically miscellaneous is
Yes,
basically on the
yeah.
title right there. It's kind of a Sons of Anarchy type thing. It's kind of a Homeland type thing. It's
There's
kind
a couple of dashes of True Detective.
there's a little bit of True Detective. There's some vampire / zombie stuff going on in there. Some weird supernatural occult stuff. While there's also kind of a governmental procedural West Wing type thing going on as
Yeah.
well, it seems. There's a lot
Okay,
of
the
things.
vampire stuff, is it more like True Blood vampire or Twilight vampire?
True Blood. More True Blood than Twilight, but it's not really
It's
True
not
Blood.
nowhere near as ridiculous as True Blood.
Yeah, so,
I
but
just
it's
figured-
nowhere
My knowledge of True
near
Blood
as
is-
ridiculous as Twilight.
I just figured I wanted to clear up which vampires we were going with.
So what
or is it Buffy vampires?
probably more Buffy.
Right, we're Buffy.
Buffy
because
Supernatural. Because
and based entirely on clips from the soup. True Blood just seems absolutely wackadoodle. So
I don't know. I've only seen a couple episodes, so.
I've seen a couple episodes.
So here's the premise. G.I. Zombie is teamed up with another government agent, a lady by the name of Carmen, and they are sent off to infiltrate / shut down anti-government militias around the U.S. That's their job. That's what they do. They work for the government. They get out there and try to clean these things up. What they've run across now is this biker gang in Louisiana, I want to say. Louisiana or Mississippi, one of the southern states. South of the Mason-Dixon line. That's where they're
Missouri?
at. Not Missouri. They have infiltrated this particular biker gang that they found has Patriot missiles, of all things, just kind of chilling in the back, as well as a whole shipment of U.S. military weapons. Carmen, of course, is working her way in as a ne'er-do-well herself, where she has already pretended to kill the government agent that was the zombie who just put himself back together and was fine, and has kind of wormed her way in and is trying to work with them to figure out what their plan is. And as she's talking to the leader, it happens to be the same day that they get a delivery of a biological weapon, but no mere biological weapon. You did read this one, Brian, right?
yes, I did.
Do you know what this biological weapon is?
I'm forgetting now because it's been a few days since I read it.
Black ice.
The popsicles are back.
It's not the popsicles. I think it's a different black ice, but it's a vial of some sort of chemical weapon / biological weapon that they have in there, and they are delivering it, and it is black ice. We haven't seen black ice since Catwoman, so
Yeah.
that's why it was.
But it was a
paired up with
popsicle, wasn't it?
What's that?
But it was a popsicle in Catwoman, wasn't
It was a popsicle, so
Yes.
I don't know.
Coroner Bill told us all about it.
It wasn't the knives, it was the popsicle that killed her. Bleep, blop, blor.
I think I'll miss you most of all, Coroner Bill.
So while she is working her way in to try to buddy up with these characters, G.I. Zombie is kind of taking a more direct route, and he's kind of gunning his way through, trying to find any evidence of what these guys are doing. And what it is that they are freedom-loving militia members. They don't trust the government anymore. They think that their rights are being eroded. They were selling drugs, and now that pot is becoming legal all over the U.S., even that freedom to be outlaws is being taken away from them. Uncle Sam is ruining everything. They like the idea, they like the American dream, they just don't like the government and the way it operates, and they intend to topple it. The government. Them government people. So, that's what they're doing. Now, as G.I. Zombie's making his way through, he's like looking in the fridge, and he ends up shooting a couple people and stabbing a couple people, and he's looking for this weapon, and as he's looking in the fridge at one point, just, I want to say a dozen grenades get tossed into the room, and he's just like, fuck, as they all blow up around him. And everyone comes running in to, yeah, we got him. Look, the room's trashed. No one could have survived that. And he just kind of pops up and he's like, wooja, I'm a zombie. Pow, 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 with guns. Pow, 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 pow. And he guns down everyone, which sets off the alarms. So the leader of this militia loads up the chemical weapon into one of their Patriot missiles, sends Carmen off with the rest of the people to re-meet up at another headquarters, and basically just shoots off one of the missiles. As he does so, the military shows up. They got called in by G.I. Zombie. They trace him down. They're going to come in and help. His handler, Gravedigger, is there, which I think is kind of a good name for his zombie.
Code name.
Yeah, so they're out there. They're doing their thing. The missile gets shot off, and G.I. Zombie jumps onto the missile to do his part as a hero, and he's riding it Slim Pickens style as it's soaring through the sky. Another reference that I probably lost about 65 to 70% of the audience with. As they're zipping along, he's like, okay, what do heroes do when they're on the back of a missile? Oh, they rip off the panel, and he rips off the panel, and he's like, okay, it's going to Washington, D.C. I'm gonna hit the button. Nothing happened. Okay, I'm gonna rip out some cables. Why isn't this thing exploding? This is what it's supposed to do. I did everything that the heroes do, and it explodes in midair, and I die in midair, and I'll just put myself back together, back on the ground. So he goes,
be a pain to have to round up all those pieces.
Yeah. So he goes, fine. I just can't let it hit DC, and he turns around and shoots off one of the guiding fins on the back of the missile, and it ends up crashing into Sleepy Town, USA, this little small village in Tennessee. So I don't know if it detonates, just this cloud kind of comes off of it. It doesn't look like it's a detonation.
It goes through like a library or a college building or something?
Yeah, something like that. But whatever the biological weapon is, it looks like it got out in this Sleepy Town, USA. So I'm sure nothing bad will happen where G.I. Zombie is stuck by himself in the middle of some sort of maybe all-you-can-eat buffet for him, for all I know. Yeah. So we'll see. It's just such a weird hodgepodge of genres. I like it a lot. I really, really do. It's just very difficult for me to explain how it works because it does work. Yeah, it's just such a mishmash. It's a quilt of story tropes and types.
It's being held together gorgeously by some fantastic artwork.
Yeah, and it really works. I'm hoping people give it a shot. My fingers are crossed. My realism's just punching me in the side of the face, but my fingers are crossed. I'm hoping it gets a little bit of legs on it because it really is interesting. Really interesting. Those of you that like the weird image books, this is a DC image book that we've seen a couple out there that are like that are basically not really attached to the DCU for all of its pluses and minuses, and it's doing its own thing, and it really works because of it. So give it a peek. Try it out. That's all I can say.
Yep. Continuing on with some more Palmiotti and Gray goodness.
Oh, the end.
The end of All-Star Western.
Such a surprising issue, too.
Yeah.
Not what I expected for the last issue at all.
Did it actually go somewhere?
It did.
It does. It really does. First off, Darwin Cook, one of the best artists in comics today, period.
Yes, first surprise.
He did this issue. I didn't go back and look, but I almost want to say he started off the original Jonah Hex series that Palmiotti and Gray started.
Oh, really?
I think he did. I
like
could be wrong.
The pre-52 one?
The pre-52 Jonah Hex #1, etc. Or at least I know he did a few issues. So Jonah Hex and Tallulah Black are going off to catch Jonah Hex.
Of course.
Yes. As we find out, there's no wacky time travel nonsense. It is just someone who, while Jonah Hex was in the future, this scarred guy came out and he's been posing as Jonah Hex and striking fear into the hearts of the communities because...
And he rounded up a posse.
As you do in the Old West.
You just do it for no reason.
Using strictly name recognition. He stole it from the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean movie, really. Even more reasons to be mad at him. He stole from the first or second. Come on.
No one steals from the fourth one.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he figured nobody saw it, so it was okay.
Yeah, that was it.
That movie made $1 billion. People saw it.
Yeah,
they don't remember it, but they saw it. Yeah, so yes, unfortunately, it's a bit of a shame that, I have a feeling that if the book had continued, it probably would have dealt with some weird future nonsense, but it didn't happen. So Jonah and Tallulah, they go. There's this awesome arson gunfight as Jonah goes to take out this fake Jonah and his posse, and
it's got the such an Old West thing where he lights the dynamite off of his cigar.
Mm-hmm.
He's just standing there looking at it like, yep, another day in the Old West.
So yeah, he has a bit of a moment of clarity. He sees the fake Jonah Hex, and he's like, I can shoot you right now. Everyone thinks you're me. I can have a clean slate.
I look like Josh Brolin.
Now. Very handsome. So he shoots him dead. He goes off with Tallulah. Some carnies show up and take the dead Jonah Hex body and taxidermy him so he can show up in the future in a museum.
So that
tying that up in a nice little bow. And Jonah and Tallulah Hex decide... Jonah, well, I guess she might be Tallulah Hex eventually.
Maybe.
Doesn't seem like the Marion
I don't think
type.
they're a settling down type.
No. But they decide to go and live a happy life on the sea as pirates.
Yes.
And they sail off into the sunset. Maybe go deal with some shrieking eels.
Because Tallulah Black's already got an eye patch. She's already half a pirate.
She's already half a pirate. So it's a beautiful as you can get for Jonah Hex and Tallulah Black, happy ending for them, and they get to go and sail off into the sunset.
And there was all sorts of these little meet cute comments between the two of them where it was just like, well, I reckon I'm just going to sail off by myself. Oh, you're going to go by yourself? He's like, well, I reckon you can join me if you like. And the two of them were just like, okay, yeah, sounds great. Let's go be pirates. Yay! I loved it.
Speaking of, if there's one book I would love to read, Jonah Hex the Pirate.
Hey, that's a great lead off where they're just like, we have Josh Brolin, Jonah Hex, out on the high seas with his pirate girlfriend, and he's just trying to live a quiet life now, and she just keeps hijacking ships all the time. It's like the Odd Couple all over again. There's the tape dividing the boat in half.
Dang it, woman, if I could swim, I'd just jump off this boat. Now we just have to wait for about 2 years when Palmy and Adi and Gray decide to find another old title that needs to be renewed, make it starring Captain Blood, and they can run into Jonah Hex and Tallulah Black.
It's the Pirates of Darkwater.
Yes.
Love
that was Captain Blood from Architecture and Morality, right?
Yes.
Good old Captain Blood.
Which I'm still mad you didn't tell me Andrew Bennett was in there.
Best surprise ever.
Spooky Andrew Bennett. Like the epitome of spooky Andrew Bennett at that.
Yes.
So, I'm so sad to see that book go. It was a bright quiet gem.
It was a bright spot in our pull list every month.
It was. I look forward to it every month. So, last one for me this episode, Justice League Dark, number 34. We're back in Nanda Parbat.
Panda Narbat?
I was just waiting because I knew one of the two of you was going to say it. No, it is Nanda Parbat. Where Pantheon, the god of gods, or at least a giant god made up of a bunch of little gods, has come to claim Nanda Parbat. Shut up.
We're getting in your head.
No, I saved it before I said it. I didn't commit. You gotta leave me alone. But Brahma Das has shown up in Not Dead Man's cell because remember at the end of last issue he woke up and found himself alive again. And he's like, Brahma Das, is that actually you? Last time I saw you, you were actually a giant deity monster in disguise. And he's like, of course it's me, dude. what are you doing here? Why are you hanging out? And Deadman's like, yeah, I was tricked into leading the giant demon hell god monster here, and now he's trashing the place. Sorry, my bad, everybody. Anything we can do to stop that? And Brahmadas goes, yeah, come on, buddy. By the way, it wasn't me that brought you back to life, because Deadman's like, thanks for giving me my body back. That's cool of you too. He's like, I didn't do it. Nanda Parbat did. You guys are best friends. Deadman's like, how am I best friends with the ghost city? That's kind of weird. I was just a circus performer. I didn't have all this mystical, magical mumbo jumbo. And he goes, well, don't you remember? And this is actually kind of a cool little backstory. Brahma Das, what he does is he goes around and finds abused children around the world, and Nanda Parbat is kind of a refuge for abused children. He brings them there, and they're able to have a bright spot in their lives, and it kind of consoles them and gives them at least some hope for the future before he takes them back to their hellish existence. Yay! And of course, Bassa Brand was one of these children, and he got along with Nanda Parbat so much that now that everything's done, it's like, hey, Bassa Brand, haven't seen you since you were a kid. Welcome back. Here's your body. Enjoy your time here. And they go off to basically try to stop this giant god monster from destroying it. Now, elsewhere...
It took him a very long time to make that friendship bracelet for the entire city of Panda
It really was. It really was a rough one. Elsewhere, outside of the city limits, the rest of the Justice League Dark has been captured and chained down to the ground because Nightmare Nurse cast some spell that protected them, so Pantheon couldn't kill them, so he just chained them down to the ground. And the entire time they're there, Constantine is just griping and complaining and going, didn't you guys kick me off this team? Why am I even here? Why do I hang out with you guys? You guys get me into all these stupid messes with all your goody two-shoes stuff. I just said maybe we should help Deadman because I was a little rude to him last time. Yes, I tried to get him killed last time. It wasn't my fault. Okay, yes, I also sealed him into the body of Sea King. Not a cool move, but I didn't think we were going to end up in this type of predicament. While they're there, though, Swamp Thing has communed with all of the plant life and turns himself into a giant plant version of the giant space worm from Avengers. Mm-hmm. And destroys all of their chains and releases them free, and they all go traipsing off, where they find Deadman and, Brahma Das, just as they're being attacked by a bunch of ghosts on demon horseback that work for Pantheon. What I thought it was going to be was Nanda Parbat had a bunch of the kids, kind of like the Peter Pan thing, where it was
the Lost Boys.
The Lost Boys. That's what I thought it was going to be, where it was all the kids that were still there. Some of them stayed and grew up, and they're all like feral kids practically. But it's not. It's just demon ghosts, and they attack. Okay. And I was like, well, that was kind of a wasted opportunity right there, I think. Of course, Deadman sacrifices himself by jumping in front of the arrows to save Brahma Das, and then just comes out as a ghost, so the whole thing was kind of pointless.
I look just silly in this costume without being dead, so, you know.
I guess that's a good reason. Every time I see Not Dead Deadman, it's like a countdown kicks off right then to when he's gonna die again.
Well, I mean, it's in his name.
It is.
Kind of odd for not to be.
To be Not Dead Deadman should be the odd thing, so it is every time. Pantheon, the giant god of gods, attacks them at this point, and it turns out that this god of gods, that it's actually a god made up of a bunch of smaller gods that were no longer worshipped by the people of Nanda Parbat when they came to enlightenment, is powered off of belief, like all of the gods. If you believe in them, they gain more power. So Deadman possesses him and I guess attacks his self-worth, so he doesn't believe in himself.
If you believe in fairies, clap your hands. I mean,
it's a very well-known thing all the time that gods gain power off of belief. Everyone knows this, Kelly.
So does Justice League Dark defeat him by all simultaneously turning their backs on him, saying, nope, not looking?
I think they call him fat. And then... And then they say, you're thugly. That's what you are. You're thugly. They just demean him until he has no self-worth, and he just dissipates into god dust. Leaving everyone there to go, yay, we won the day. And Brahma Das goes, good job, buddy. Nanda Parbat will always be here for you, and he disappears as well, and the rest of the Justice League Dark go, freeze frame, we won. Let's head on back to base.
Lots of freeze frames this week.
Well, it's everyone wrapping up their stories before event month.
Oh.
Because all their stories get derailed for a month, so everyone's trying to get to a stopping point. It was interesting. I like Dead Man. But as I said, whenever I see Not Dead Man, it's just a matter of time. And every time the time seems to get shorter and shorter. Except for the one time.
Some random nobodies with some arrows. Like, okay, sure.
It wasn't even anyone big. It was just some random demon with a bow and arrow. Okay. Way to go. I guess he's not that good of a acrobat.
No, not at all.
So bring us home, Brian.
Okay, we're finishing off with the Flash 34. So, the Flash jumps into the fray of like a big police operation, and he outs Detective Seaborn as the mashup killer. Like, this balding old guy with a receding hairline is the mashup killer? That's some brilliant cover. Search the city for all the fat, bald, middle-aged men as our top suspects in the case of the twerking bandit. So, Seaborn immediately admits it, doesn't even try to put on any kind of cover. He's like, okay.
No, that was kind of weird, too. I was like, dude, all you have to do is just be like, no, that's not me.
No. I'm a detective with a very good record. Why would that even be? Why would I even know? He just immediately starts pulling out all of his villain weapons that I guess he was keeping in his trench coat and just starts fighting the Flash. And he starts to get the advantage over the Flash. But his partner is like, hey, you jerk. Why are you doing that? And he's able to kind of sneak up on him while he's got the Flash all tied up. Helps Flash capture him.
Yay!
Yep.
Detective so-and-so.
Yay, Detective so-and-so, whose name I did not write down. Way to help the Flash. And as we see later on, Detective Seaborn does not do well in prison since all the villains he was impersonating now have murder on their names thanks to him.
Yes.
Punch my fist into my open hand.
And it leaves with all of them closing in on him in his cell because they're all his cellmates.
Yeah, they're all his cellmates.
It's like, ugh. Well, that's probably not going to work out too well for you, buddy.
Weep womp. So, if there's one thing Wally West has to do, his girlfriend just said, I'm helping you out. I'm doing a lot of stuff for you. Are you going to spend some time with me? No, I'm sorry. Iris West needs me to spend some time with her disadvantaged nephew. So.
He does apologize.
Yes, he does.
He goes through and does the whole, hey, I thought we were the only thing that didn't need to be fixed in my life. That's why I wasn't really worried, I guess. So, I'll work better at it. Sorry.
Yep. So Barry takes Wally West to talk to his uncle, the Reverse Flash, Daniel West, who says the Flash is right. I am the Reverse Flash. You didn't pin it on me. Be a better person. Don't be me. Be the first West to actually make something of their life. And Iris is just kind of standing off the corner saying, hey, over here. I'm a crime reporter, right? Right? Okay. Thanks for that, Daniel.
Nice to see you again, brother.
And Wally goes away deciding to listen to Barry. But it turns out Barry just paid off Daniel West to say the right thing.
Who is a mean, spiteful, vindictive guy.
Spiteful jerk. And this will not come back to haunt Barry Allen at all at any point.
None of them.
None of them.
Especially since he tells him if you miss a payment, I'm going to call him in and tell him the truth that I'm going to murder everyone and that's the best way to do it.
Cut to 5 years from now. Future Flash comes back to kill Reverse Flash before he causes the car accident that cripples Iris and kills Wally. And it perfectly lines up with the Future's End event. Holy crap, someone actually did that.
Oh, actually lined it up?
They actually lined it up. Well played there,
Mr.
Venditti and Jensen.
Yep.
Well played.
I was actually
there.
surprised. There was only, I want to say, 2 books that lined up their stuff.
Yeah.
As far as getting it right on the nose. Some of them did, like Andraco did with Batwoman.
Oh, yes.
Because that kind of leads into the 5 years later into, oh my goodness, she's a vampire! A spooky vampire!
A spooky vampire, thank you.
So, who knows? I'm kind of curious to see how people do that stuff. That always fascinates me, where you have a cutoff point, you know what's coming, but you don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
You just have the vaguest of vaguities, and you have to kind of lead your book over to there. So we'll see. Do you like it though? Are you still enjoying The Flash?
I did. I'm intrigued to see where they're going with the future Flash, and the fact that it's lining up perfectly with the event month. I think that's pretty cool.
I was surprised at how vindictive Daniel West was. I was like, oh look, they're gonna try to give him, because he was just an abused child. That was the whole thing. And he was, spiteful against his father, who abused him his entire childhood and abused his sister even, and was trying to protect them both, and blah 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 blah. And now he is evil as sin.
Yeah, well, he's He's supposed to be the Flash's big villain, you know?
Fair enough, but
Yeah.
he is
It was a sudden turn, but I guess prison's not that good of a place, so...
Really? You don't rehabilitate yourself in prison?
Not that, I mean, what I've learned from reading superhero comics, that is not what happens in prison
I'm sure
at all.
Detective Seaborn will be rehabilitated. He will come out seeing the error of his ways and not be bitter and jaded. Not whatsoever.
Nope.
Well, we had some more mind screws. That would work.
Yeah.
But that's it. That wraps up all of our books for this week. Brian, give it to me. What's your pick for this week?
Man, what is my pick? I'm going to say All-Star Western.
You know what? I kind of like that one, too. I am going to say Red Lanterns, though, for me.
Okay.
Just because it was a nice little button. I know there was a lot of Deus Ex type stuff because of blood magic. Blood magic!
Yeah.
But I just kind of like the way that story ended again and where it left Guy in the universe. So
Yeah.
To me, it hit me. We lost Scalox, though.
Yeah.
We have to update the in memoriam page, I think.
Yep. Yep.
Maybe I'll write some fan fiction for him.
Okay.
Yeah. But as a reminder, you guys, go out there and buy these books. There are plenty of good ones out there this week. Plenty of interesting ones at the very, very least. There's a lot of different styles, a lot of different genres. If you want something that we don't know what the genre is at all, try G.I. Zombie.
Yeah. I'm sure there's plenty of copies.
Harley Quinn, again, wonky, weird. Catwoman was there.
Catwoman's Catwoman.
Sinestro, really, really good. And same with Superman as well. I thought that was super awesome. So, yeah, give him a shot.
And Batman, Superman's picking up again.
Yeah, and of course, Batman Eternal. So, see, plenty.
Yeah, Futures ended a nice end too. It was a very good week.
It was. Now, in hindsight,
just no time for it during this week, so it couldn't really sink in. But
yeah, I guess not. But make sure you go out there and buy them, though. If you don't buy them, they won't make them, and no one wins. So you have to support the hobby. Next week, though, we're off. As a reminder to you guys, we're taking a single week off here, and then we'll come back for a show, and then we're going to take another week after that off through September. So it'll only be 2 episodes in September, and then after that, in October, we will get back on track. So I'm just going to do a double shot.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? We're taking vacation?
We are.
Yeah, you didn't listen to all of last week's episode, I'm guessing.
No, I fell asleep.
Busted.
Sorry, I was sleeping through most of it. So.
Thanks for the
No
vote
problem.
of confidence.
No problem.
So I'm going to do a double shot of next week's books. That'll be the next 2 weeks of books. And that is Superman Unchained number 8. Remember that book?
Really?
Yeah, I guess they're...
Good time in there, Superman Unchained.
Yeah, just kind of throw it out there. Justice League number 33 tries to catch up with next month.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one, too.
Yep. Grayson, Future's End number 1. Looks like he's donning a new costume. Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Future's End number 1, where they go from prison to the White House, it looks like. Guess Deadshot's president? I don't know.
Wait a minute. That's not right.
Some,
Who's busy being 50 Sue's dad?
No, not Deathstroke, Deadshot.
Oh, Deadshot. Okay.
Yeah, Deathstroke can still be 50 Sue's dad.
Okay.
Deadshot's taking over the presidency,
All right.
it looks like, with Harley Quinn as the first
But
lady.
you could
so.
still be a dad and be the president.
No, it's impossible. Impossible.
If I've learned anything from my date with the president's daughter, that is a thing that can happen.
Okay, fair enough. We get, bizarrely enough, a Legion of Superheroes member in Justice League United, it looks like. Earth 2, we're dealing with the various forms of Lois Lane in her red tornado-y gear. Queen Mara is giving the kill Aquaman signal in Future's End Aquaman number 1.
What is the kill Aquaman signal?
Just thumbs down.
Okay, got it.
I think you make a gill face first and then
Yeah.
thumbs down afterwards.
It's like the fished in.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
you know,
And then you
down.
put hooks in your mouth. And It's very, very intricate, this whole thing. Underwater communication, very difficult with sign language. Infinity Man and the Forever People, Future's End, number 1. I don't know, Beautiful Dreamer's having a nightmare. So, Constantine, Future's End, it looks like he's donning the helm of Naboo. Ooh. Green Arrow, Future's End, number 1, as his gravestone is hit by lightning and it looks like he's back to life, or he never died, or someone else is taking up the mantle. I don't know. We'll see. Trinity of Sin, Phantom Stranger, Future's End, number 1.
Really?
Yeah, it looks like he's turning back to Philip Stark, and he's like, what? I'm just a normal dude.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah. Huntress Power Girl in World's Finest Futures End #1, but we get the replacement Power Girl, and Huntress still just chilling there, I guess. Superboy gets his own team in Superboy Futures End #1. Action Comics Futures End #1 is just weird. Batman Futures End #1 looks like he trades in his cape for a Bane Venom pump.
Okay.
Just because. Detective Comics Futures End #1, the Riddler is Robin?
Okay.
I guess. Batgirl Futures End #1, Teammates? Oh, I didn't even know we were getting this. Batwing Futures End #1.
Huh. I
forgot he was getting a Futures End book. He's joining a new team, it looks like. Birds of Prey Futures End #1. Looks like, Black Canary is being resurrected and going all rage mode from a Lazarus pit. So,
okay.
Sure. Green Lantern Corps #1, the one that intrigues me the most. What if I said Indigo Lantern John Stewart? Knock, knock.
Knock, knock, indeed.
Knock, knock, knock. It's going to be a really dry book. It's just knock, 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 knock.
There's going to be a few clicks and maybe a click or two.
Green Lantern Futures End #1. Swamp Thing Futures End #1, where he's traded in the plants to become a robot. He's heard robots are all the rage right now.
Yep.
He is, I guess, going to become the avatar of technology? Or the avatar of the machine, I guess is what it's called. I don't know. It's another one of our different avatar things. That's weird. New 52 Futures End #18 continues our weekly tromp. New 52 Futures End #19. And just one, Batman Eternal #22. So maybe they get a week off themselves. Slow their roll. Be like, whoa, we just mic dropped a lot. Let's let Futures End take the front for a little bit, and then we'll come back in. I don't know how they're doing it, but
okay.
There's only one issue. That's all I see. So just figured I'd at least let people know what's coming up. There's some interesting stuff there. Some of it may be more interesting than others, but we will see. We'll at least give a rough cursory glance in the halfway stop, and then we'll pick it up for the back half. And we also get Multiversity next month still, too.
Oh, yes.
So we get stuff. We get stuff. That being said, as I said, reminder for you guys, we are off next week. I don't think I've said it enough. Just so you guys know, I expect 0 emails, tweets, or anything saying, hey, what happened? Where's the issue, or where's the episode this week? Even though I know I'm exactly going to get that, I have at least put forth my due diligence and let people know. If you do want to contact us, but not to ask that question, Kelly, what can people do?
Well, on the computer, type in DCR podcast into things. You'll find us.
There you go. Or you can email us at feedback@dcrpodcast.com. It's just as easy as that. It's the internet. It's the modern age. You don't have to save it on one thumb drive and hand it over to Lieutenant Bard. You can email things. There's the cloud. I mean,
there's tubes.
It's all a bunch of tubes. So that being said, guys, do you have anything before we take off for this week?
Channel 52, all the Pete Woods artwork for the new gods looks pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. See, I told you they were all getting redesigns. Did you like them, or were you just kind of
I like them quite a bit.
Some of them are...
This new god named with the extremely new gaudy name of Becca. An awful lot like a girl I used to date named Becca. That's a little weird.
Is that a...
She had the gigantic pink things growing out of her head and everything. So.
That's kind of awkward. Did she at least see a doctor about that? That might be
melanoma
know. Or something.
It only lasted a few weeks, but still.
Cleared up pretty quickly then? Okay then.
Well, the relationship, the pink things, I don't know.
I asked who Light Ray was, and then I opened up my books this week, and they're like, this is Light Ray. And I was like, oh, thank you. I asked that question just recently.
He looks much cooler now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's popping them collars, yo.
Yep.
Gotta pop
well, it's the new 52.
Collars.
You've got to pop those collars.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Are all those old gods? Old new gods?
Old new gods? I'm sure they had to have existed at one point or another, but the only ones I'm recognizing are Metron and Light Ray.
Yeah, I know Metron. Is it Metron or Metron?
Just gotta say Metron.
I kind of like Metron. I prefer that better.
I think that's how Grant Morrison says it. If anyone knows Metron, since they spent time together, apparently.
I guess, if you have to defer.
Yes.
You made it all the way to the end before people had to do a shot. We were like
USA.
seconds
USA.
away. Seconds away. I knew the new gods weren't safe. So that being said, everyone, enjoy your books, enjoy your week, enjoy your lives, and enjoy the shot you just had to take, because we're going to talk to you in 2 weeks' time. So enjoy it, and we will talk to you